ready?
Vote on our end, they might say no, right?
If I can have your attention, we'll get started. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Could we all please stand and as we give pledge of allegiance to our flag? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Chair Nathan Blackwell.
Here.
Vice Chair Lynette Matheny. Absent.
Absent.
Member Dave Askew.
Here.
Member Chuck Cooper.
I'm here.
Member Keith Trace.
Here.
Member Joel Davis.
Here.
Member Dwight Loden.
Here.
The first thing we have before us is the approval of our minutes from the August 2019 meeting. Are there any corrections?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve from
Second.
Mr. Loading, is that correct?
Yes.
And a second by two people, Mr. Cooper. I'll just do a verbal on that, can I not?
You can. You don't need a roll call.
I didn't think so. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it so carries. At this time, we'll begin with old business. Begin with Mackeson's building update, 918 New York Avenue.
Good evening, Andre Anderson, Community Development Director. This is just a brief update on the Makeson building that was purchased by the CRA. And in this image there, you see sort of the before and after shots of the project. And I think in your packet, it has a breakdown of the expenditures to date. And the things that we have done in an effort to stabilize the building is we have repaired the roof to stop any leaking, any further damage to the building. We have also removed the creeping fig vines that sort of engulfed the building. We have replaced the awning to make it more appealing. We also removed the back porch on the structure that was towards the alley. And we have also completed the mold remediation, which was as a result of the leaking roof. So the building is now at a point that it's ready for us to proceed with the next stages of the process, which is to prepare and put out an RFP for the resale of the property and to encourage and require a food service entertainment concept for that structure. So that's where we are right now. We hope to have the RFP out in January of 2020 and probably be about a 3 to 4 month process to allow review.
I need you to speak clearly and loudly.
To allow review
Mr.
and
Andre.
update. We expect it to be about a 4-month process, and during that time we'll be able to review any submittals and be able to make a selection and recommendation to the CRA for sale of the property.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cooper?
I think your property's not quite ready to put it up for sale. If it is, it's very dangerous in the front window. You've got a crack that goes all the way across there. You've got a piece of plastic that any kid that would fall into it right now, it's going to go right through it.
Okay.
I think we need to fix that. We should have already fixed it already. That should have part of the $60,000. If it's not, we need to do that. I mean, I don't think in good reasonably expectation that the city should be able to try and sell that until you get that glass, that front window repaired. And there may have been more than that major first window. There may be another one that is broken. Have you seen it? Have you noticed it?
I've been told about it.
It's
by-
almost 3/4 of an inch between the front and the back. If you just take a razor blade and cut that plastic across there, that OUC put on there, it's gonna fall in.
Okay.
It's holding it now. So I can't, not in good conscience can I vote for anything until you get it fixed.
I'm not asking for any vote tonight.
I understand, but we need to get it fixed.
We will address it immediately.
Okay. Bill, if we can get that fixed.
Yes, Mr. Cooper. We'll take care of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you. We'll move on to item B, the 10th Street vacant parking lot update.
Yes, this is the vacant parking lot that's adjacent to the Mackinson Building. As you see on the image there, it's highlighted in red. And we were directed by the city, by the CRA, to proceed with discussing a purchase of that parking lot. And as you see there, the city attorney was authorized to make an offer. The appraised value of the property is $77,000. The last sale date was back in 2018. The last sale price was $52,000. We offered $52,000. I'm sorry, that's $52,000. We offered $52,000, and they did not accept it. So that's all that I have on that at this point. So we need further direction if we need to keep pursuing it or up the price. Just let us know what we need to do.
Do we have questions or discussions regarding the sale of the 10th Street or the purchase? Do we continue to pursue that? Councilman Trace.
I think if we go through when we go through the RFQ process, if prospective buyer views that as important to their plan, then we can move forward with it then. I mean, it's not like we have money burning a hole in our pocket for it, to just go after it, but if it's needed, then great, and if it's not, then, you know, the property owners can develop it as they see fit.
Trace, I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Once we go through the RFQ process, if whoever's selected for that needs and wants that piece of property, then we can pursue it at that point, or they could pursue it at that point. But I just don't think it's necessary at this moment until we have a plan for it.
Any other? So I think we'll be waiting on that then.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Item number C, CRA Board Term Limits.
Yes, so in your packet, you had received all the current terms for each of the board members, and the only one that's actually expires at this point is Mr. Davis. His term expires November 2019, and he was originally appointed by Mayor Borders and Russell Holmes, and we need some guidance and direction on how to proceed, and whether Mr. Davis wants to be reappointed, I guess.
Well, they don't do the reappointment, so you're just basically asking Mr. Davis whether he wants to put his name back in.
That's what I'm saying. I just asked whether he wants to be reconsidered.
First of all, what is I understood that the process was that a nomination starts.
Well, the council makes the
council,
appointment,
yeah.
so
The
what,
council,
yeah, I'm not sure exactly why. Basically, typically what we've done in the past is we've asked a board member whose term is expiring, do you want to be reappointed? In which case, they submit an application, they provide it to the council, and then it's put on an appropriate agenda. The way it works is, even though Mr. Davis's term has expired, he gets to continue to serve until somebody other than him is appointed. And if, of course, if he's reappointed, then he gets to continue to serve. So I think what staff is asking for now is just confirmation that Mr. Davis is going to complete an application, and we'll go through that
so what you're
process.
saying, Mr. Davis just needs to submit a reapplication if he's
Yes.
interested in
Yes.
continuing to serve?
So you'll just email me one?
Yes. Well, I'll get with the
And
city,
then that's an issue that the council approves, correct?
city council.
Yes.
Anything else with that?
Just to note that if That, I guess, the note here is that, I guess during January, February is when we normally go for recruitment as well, so that's just a
Okay.
standing date.
Which brings us to new business, CRA Finance.
Yes, in your packet, you should have also received a detailed listing of the budget that was approved, and it also shows the 2020 budget, and then the items that were to date, that were expenditures to date or encumbrances, and then the balance, and we just simply broke it down into the three category areas: the personnel, the operations, and then grants, aid, and private organizations. And so for personnel, we have expended today $12,392.51 for a balance of $141,279.49. For operational, we've spent to date $51,548.18 for a balance of $389,282. For grants, we've spent to date $9,197.90 with a balance of $415,002.10. The contingency is also listed there in the budget packet, which is not on the slide, is $1,019,421. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, actually, 1 million, no, the
19,421.
contingency is $1,151,466. So are there any questions?
Councilman Trace.
Ask you. Thinking that's me.
I mean, ask you.
Andre, what's the other contractual services, the CP, for $274,000? What does that entail?
That is for the community policing.
Okay. And the buildings at 100 and, okay, that's, never mind. I got that one. I know what that is. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else have any questions? Are we needing approval of this budget, Mr. Mazares?
No,
No,
this is just an
It's-
update.
this was something that you'd asked for us to bring it to each meeting, just give
I
an
appreciate
update. A running, kind of a running total.
All right. If there's no other questions, we'll move on to the 2020 meeting schedule.
Well, there's actually, I apologize, there's one more item to mention on the financials,
Okay,
which is
I see
the
it.
building and site improvement grant. And this was approved, just signed off on for $16,295, so that would actually adjust the total for grants to reduce it by $16,295, as that amount of funds would be encumbered. So the balance would be $58,700 for that line. And that's it for the financials.
Any questions about that?
Say that again, please?
705, right?
What did I say? Yes.
Don't you move on to the schedule?
The schedule, the proposed schedule for 2020, as you see there, is the meeting that we're having now, December 5th, and then the next one will be February 6th, April 2nd, June 4th, August 6th, and October 1 of 2020. So,
Any concerns about any of the dates? So we,
okay.
thank you then.
Okay, very good. We'll move on. So I guess we're approving this by consensus?
Yes.
That is okay, okay, very good. And that's all I have right now. I'll ask Shelley to give you an update on the FRA conference.
Okay, it brings us to the next item.
Good evening, Shelley Watson, Community Redevelopment Agency Specialist. I'm just going to go over the staff report with you. I wanted to give you an update on the FRA conference. We had several of you that attended. It was a wonderful conference. I think that everybody came back with some great information and education and have been sharing. If you have anything that you'd like to share about it, you're welcome to do so. I think it's a great conference for the CRA board, and it's been beneficial. The next thing is, and it's not on here, is the Culinary Bicycle Tour that we will be having on February 1st of 2020. It's a new event. It'll start at the lakefront. It'll come up through the downtown footprint and then back to the lakefront. And as it states, it's a bicycle tour. So people will ride their bikes. They will stop at the venues in our downtown area, and it's really to highlight what we have to offer. So I think it's going to be a great event.
Will there be free food?
There will be samples. Each venue has been asked to provide samples of their menu and a drink.
I may have to
beverage.
dust off my bike. Pump up my tires.
That's all I have.
That's it? Thank you very much, Shelley. Anybody have any questions regarding her items? I'd like to just say one more time, I enjoyed the conference. I was pretty much amazed, as I usually am, by what had been done down at the lakefront or the waterfront with the building there that had been used for their revitalizing all of their trolley cars and turned into a center that had totally revamped, become a catalyst for changing that whole area. And it was pretty amazing what the CRA program there had done. I enjoyed that. Anyone else? We have any members update? Mr. Askew?
Yeah, so I've got a call from Main Street. I know that they're trying to get through some of the paperwork challenges they have with their contract. I had a quick discussion with Manzares. If there's a way we can look at their contract to make sure that they can get all their stuff in on time, I think it's by November 30th. I think their concern is that they're not going to get their check that we budgeted for until they come up in front of us and do their talk. So if there's a way, I guess I'm asking the CRA board here if there's a way that you can give the rights to our city manager to go ahead and write that check, take a look at the contract, see if we can find a way that they can come and get all the information that we need as a CRA. But right now, it's just a really tight squeeze to get it all in at the same time. So what I'm looking for a consensus, if we can get the check to Main Street and then have Bill and Mr. Manzares work with them on a new contract or updating the contract so it's just a little easier to get their money.
Mr. Manzares, then that be an acceptable thing?
I mean, it's up to the board how you want to handle it. I don't think Mr. Askew is asking for a change in any of the, related to the information. It's more of a timing thing, I think, is what he's looking at.
It is.
Right.
I'm fine
I'm
with that.
certainly in favor. Do we have a consensus? Anyone object?
No.
You better not. I'll be in trouble.
I have a spare bedroom.
Mr. Cooper?
No, no.
All right. Thank you. You have a unanimous
take care of it.
consensus to move
That's
forward with that
direction.
and take care of that. Thank you, Mr. Askew. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for me.
Mr. Davis, you have anything for us?
No, sir.
Mr. Lodi?
Merry Christmas.
Yep. Thank you. Trace? Good. Mr. Askew?
Talk a little bit about the conference. I could go on forever, but I think it said we should almost get some training up here of what we can decide on for the CRA. Give you an example, the pub that we purchased there, we can be very specific about what we want to put in there, unlike being a council. In the CRA, you can be very specific exactly what you want, and we can zero in exactly what we want and some of the things there. So it was really interesting to see all the other cities and what they did with old Brownsfields and old places and buildings and things like that, and how they came up with solutions. So it's definitely an eye-opening experience. So.
Excellent. Mr. Cooper?
No, I have no problem. Merry Christmas.
Mr. Sturgeon, you have anything for us?
No, sir. Merry Christmas.
Ms. Mazares?
No?
Well, I think we're all wishing a Merry Christmas for sure.
Oh, we'll see.
Does anyone in the public like to
This is
make a
Bob.
comment? If not, we move to our information. The next CRA meeting will be Thursday, February the 6th, 2020. And with that, we will consider the CRA meeting adjourned.